Hello and welcome to another episode of Anatomy of a Turn, the series where I take a focused look at a single turn of Blood Bowl, try and discuss some decisions made in a little bit more depth. As always, this isn't meant to be presented as a perfect turn of Blood Bowl, it's just a way of explaining some of the thought processes and decisions that were made, and hopefully we can learn a few things. Okay, so we're in the first game of the Tackle Zone Star Division season I've just joined. I take it it's Resurrection Blood Bowl. I've taken Lizardmen, I've got 5 skills, I've taken 4 block and a tackle, playing against some orcs. They've got a mixture of block and guard and a mighty blow guy. Okay, so the orcs managed to break through down a sideline, but they're slightly overextended with the ball carrier here. As you can see, he's down here, and I'm going to try and make it, my aim here is to try and make it as difficult as possible for the orcs to score in their turn. It's their turn 6. So, worst case scenario, I want them to score next turn to give me 2 turns to score, but hopefully I can stop them scoring altogether. So the plan is to try and get the crop score next to the ball, and then we'll try and make a dodge as difficult as possible. So just standing up these guys over here, try and mark up these black orcs that are out of the play. There's nothing else they can really do, so no dice rolls, do that easy stuff first. Okay, first thing we're doing here is this 2 dice block on this blitzer. So the blitzers are going to be a problem if I try and mark up the crux score, so it's just a case of trying to mark these up with the Saurus, so they at least have to dodge out, hopefully worse than that. So I'll block with this guy first, because by doing that it opens up this skink to lend an assist against this guy here, which I can then block with this Saurus for 2 dice rather than 1. Free up that skink so he doesn't have to make a dodge, and he can move away. So yeah, they both got blocked, those 2 Saurus, so taking those 2 blocks first. Nice sort of stun there, although prone would have been fine with him against the sideline. And then I'm moving this skink over here. So the skink's going here, he's not next to the ball carrier, not putting any pressure on. I could have played it safe and put the skink next to the ball carrier, but I'm in such a bad position I need to try and go for my perfect turn here. I can't just go for alright, I need to try and line up this crux score to get involved, and if he does get involved, this is a better position for the skink to be, as we'll soon see. Obviously, relying on the crux score is a very risky strategy, but I'm in a situation where I have to try and do that kind of thing, be more aggressive. Okay, so should go back to a few spots. This first Saurus, I pushed him back there, the blitzer, because I knew that was going to be a reasonable spot, but also following up was an important part. I can follow up the Saurus here, and that means when I can push back this guy, he would be in the tackle zone of that Saurus there. So I'd follow up for that reason. So yeah, blitzing with a crux score, hoping not to get a 1 or 109. Nice stun again, and go and stand next to the ball carrier. Okay, so as we can see here, the pitch is slightly in the way. We've got the crux score here, next to the ball carrier, and then the skink is here. Now his position is obviously a lot better now, because if I put the skink here, the really obvious thing to do for the orc throw here would be, even if nobody else moved, even if nobody else did anything, you've got a 1 dice blitz on that skink. You can push him back to here, follow up, and then do a 3-up dice to there. So I've given the orc a 3-up to score with at worst case scenario in the next turn. By putting the guy here, this guy's got a 5-up dodge to get out rather than that 3-up dodge. Or he can possibly try and make a half dice against crux score to blitz him away, but he doesn't have block, so that's again obviously a lot more risky than a 3-up. So yeah, that's why the skink here is a lot better than next to the ball carrier. Obviously, if things were going better, if I had other players available, I would tag the guy with the skink, because obviously tagging a guy is better than nothing. But as I said, something had to happen to try and make this a really good turn. These guys here also kind of block in the blitzer here, so he can't dodge out and be a nuisance. Okay, so with this skink here, I'm moving him last because there's nothing he can do that is actually vital. But now that the rest of the turn has worked, I try and get him in a reasonably good position. So I made a dodge there that used my dodge skill. I made another dodge here that failed, so I use a team reroll. Now ideally I don't want him next to that mighty blow blitzer. I wanted to, if I had rerolls left, potentially dodge to here, and then that blocks off this blitzer and stops him getting some dodging out over here and blitzing this skink, because that's the best option before this move. Would be for my opponent to make 1 3-up dodge with this blitzer, blitz this skink, and then dodge out here. But now he can't do that because I put the skink here, and because I use my reroll, he's just going to stand there and block off the blitzer that way. Okay, so that is the end of turn. Okay, because that was a short one, we'll carry on until later in the game. We'll do another quick turn as well. So the Orcs scored. There was a bit of a double score incident, so we're now 1-0 down in the second half, and unfortunately there was a pitch invasion which annihilated all my line scrimmage and didn't touch the Orcs, and I was 2 players down to start with, so I was put under huge pressure. I've got pushed back in the centre here, and I'm just scrambling around with my few remaining 3 players trying to protect the ball, so I'm completely on the defensive. I'm just trying to score any way I possibly can and then hope I can hang on for 1-0. So this is the situation. It's my turn 12, and I'm kind of bogged down here. The Orcs are very sensibly keeping their tackle blitzer back here in the backfield as a threat, so I can't run the skink through. But they have got a little bit tied down over here. There's a couple, too many players tying up these Saurus and Kroxigor in the middle, so I've got some chance of moving forward. So that's what I'm going to try and do. The Troll failed to go for it here, trying to tag this guy. So I did have the option to try and just mill around again, try and keep the ball. But if I do that, I'm just going to lose by degrees. I'm just going to gradually get pushed back a square every turn, even if all my dice go well. So instead of that, I'm going to do something a little bit more aggressive, which is sideline cage. I've only got 3 players available, so I can't cage properly, so I'm going to have to cage on the sideline. Like this. Rather than getting this Saurus involved and making the cage better, I've just tagged up the tackle guy and try and mark him out of the game for 1 turn at least, and then hopefully that'll give him an opportunity to break through. By getting lots of Orcs, Black Orcs tied up in the middle here, this has left a little bit of a gap over here. I'm still in a pickle, but I decided to be aggressive this turn rather than waiting to lose slowly in future turns. So this isn't a great position, but I think it's the best position I can get to try and score, because I've got this 1 chance to get this tackle guy out of the game. The previous turns he was no chance of dealing with him, but this time I can actually get a tackle zone on him. So we'll go that way. Okay, stood up some Saurus first, obviously before I did any of that, because that was 3 actions, and then I had a decision to make. This Kroxigor, whether to block with him or not, and decided there wasn't a huge risk for him to boneheading or 1-in-9ing down, but there was a huge advantage for him even rolling a pushback and following up, because that ties up another blitzer or 2, and that Black Orc that was on the floor as well. And lucky enough, I got a POW as well. So that's tied up another guy. So by following up here, I've managed to tie up this blitzer here, hopefully, and this Black Orc here, potentially. Okay, and then I thought long about this one. This is a 1 dice block with block on my side and without block on the Black Orc. And I decided that the reward for pushing up, getting a pushback and potentially marking this guy, or even a both down, which would knock him over and not me, and then this guy be tagged by him, was a lot better than the risk of rolling a skull, because I'd usually use the reroll earlier in the turn, so it was a naked dice roll. But players down, position down, pitch evasion put us on the back foot. It was a situation where taking a positive risk of that nature is going to be so much more beneficial than just sitting back and passively waiting for my opponent to beat me. So sometimes you have to roll, aggressive, crazy dice and see what you can get. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please press like and subscribe, and hopefully you'll receive more content of this nature. See you again next time.